This weekend is driving the number 88 Amp Energy Orange Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, and it's a good-looking paint scheme out there on that race car. Maybe talk about that a little bit, and then also about how test went for you yesterday, and then your outlook for this weekend here at Las Vegas.
The day went pretty good. We had pretty good speed right off the trailer and just worked through a lot of things. Everybody had a lot of time yesterday to really kind of get up to speed. So by the end of the day, everybody's running about the same times. But we had more than enough practice really this weekend. So I'm not too worried about what we didn't get to do today because yesterday was way more than we needed, to be honest. But so feeling good. Just hope we get a little time. Just make sure everything's working right. Get a couple laps Saturday. Just make sure everything's cool, and we'll be ready to go.
Questions for Dale? Raise your hand. We'll start right here with Mark, and then we'll go to Melinda. Excuse me.
Mark Anderson, Las Vegas View Journal. You had a really good run here last year, but with the new car, does that really have any carryover?
Yeah, the car's really the same chassis. Still got the splitter. It's just a little bit different. The body's different. The spoiler's different. The aero is way different. So a lot the same. They did make a lot of rule changes at the back of the car, the way we were using the rear end houses and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we were ready to race in 2 hours of yesterday. I mean, there's everybody knows what they're doing. The cars aren't really a mystery. So just getting it out on the track, make sure it don't hit the ground, and get the balance where you want, and you're ready to go.
Who else had Melinda? Go ahead, right there in the middle.
Melinda Adams, ESPN. Dale Jr., you have pretty much set the baseline now where you're consistently in the top 10. Do you feel like you can really take a gamble for the win now?
Well, I don't know what we could have done to really gamble to win any differently than. It's not like there's this window opportunity in every race where everybody can just take a wild gamble. I mean, we're running as hard as we can run every lap, and that's all you can do.
Go over here to Bob, Allen, and Lewis, and Lee. Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Pocker, Sporting News. You're a guy who can be emotional after races and kind of really say what's on your mind. I'm curious with the Hamlin fine, are you going to have to try to curtail yourself, or are you just going to be yourself?
Well, I think I think we were told, a couple years ago to, just sort of watch all the negative comments and tones when we were, I think after Talladega was a good example several years ago, but I don't recall which year it was. But I thought it was clear to all of us to be, careful how we, said what was on our mind. I don't think that they mind you come up in the holler and talking about what you think about the racing and how you think things could improve or what might improve things. And I think that they're open to listening to that kind of stuff. So we always want to get better and always want to, strive to be better as a sport. But I think we're going in a good direction. I like the new car. Obviously, I've had a couple good runs with it. So I'm excited about what we're going to have going on, and things are only going to get better from here as we learn more and more about tires, and the tires changing quite a bit with the way they're making tires and trying to go green on the tires and stuff like that. And that's really going to change the way the cars react. I mean, everybody has to understand that the tire has a lot to do with how these cars drive. That's what connects them to the racetrack. So I think Goodyear's doing a good job trying to improve things there, and we're learning a ton. So it involves more than just the vehicle itself. You got to look at the track surface and all kinds of things. So NASCAR is doing a lot of good things. There's a lot of good ideas moving around, a lot of good conversations happening that I'm happy to hear and happy to see going on, that I think we're going in a good direction.
Claire?
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Given that we're talking a lot about the car and what might happen this weekend, without any changes, will we see week to week changes in what we'll see out of the car? In your mind, do you feel optimistic that some things will develop without any changes that will make the racing any different?
Well, the track and the surface of the track has a lot to do with it. The particular tire and the compound of the tire, the sidewall, the softness of the compound. All those things really play a big role. You're not going to go. Look at the variety of racetracks we have on the circuit. Every one of them is completely different. We joke about how the mile and a halves are all the same and all that stuff, but every one of them is different in their own way. You're not going to go to every racetrack and see the exact same race. Surfaces are different, tires are different, and the way you set the cars up and the setups that you run in the cars are different. The geometry that you might run in one place versus another is different. Everything about the whole race weekend, the process is different, so you're going to see a different race everywhere you go. But I think as we learn more and more about these cars and what makes them work and drive better, things can only get better as far as the product we put out there every week. It's a new car. There's a lot of things to learn, and that's what everybody in the garage is trying to do. It's trying to get an advantage on the rest of the competitors out there. So we had a good opportunity yesterday with like 12 hours of practice, but I was kind of glad to see it rain today because I had practiced enough. I was ready to race.
Okay, let's go to Alan, Lee, Alex.
Alan Cavana, NASCAR.com. How telling will this race be in the result in terms of in how you'll do on intermediate tracks throughout the year? Will you put a lot of stock in the finish this weekend?
Yeah, I think you can. This place has got a lot of bumps going into turn one. They are something else. I'm impressed each time I come here how much rougher it is. So that really challenged you to set the car up to be able to get through them bumps, and you might run a little bit different stop package and shock package to do that, where at Michigan or Charlotte or somewhere that's not quite, it doesn't have bumps like that, you don't have to run that style of package. So the setups are getting further apart, I guess, as far as most mile and a halves and what you run at Vegas. But it does set the tone. I mean, confidence is everything. And when you go to Vegas and you run well, you expect to go to the next mile and a half at Texas or wherever it may be and run well. So
let's go all the way back in the back. Alex?
Hi, Dale. Alex Van Tilburg from NASCAR Productions. You placed well at Fontana last year. What are you looking forward to going back to that track?
At Fontana?
Yeah.
Well, I like the way the track's gotten really wide, and you can run the bottom, you run the top, run the middle. I love tracks like that. They put on really good races, and there's opportunities to pass. When you run a guy down, you can change the line you're running and get some clean air on your car, and you feel confident that if you do the right thing and drive the car well, you can make a pass. So I love that about that racetrack, and the surface got a good age on it. We even run on the apron some down there in turn 3 and 4, which is a lot of fun when you can get your car to do that. But it's a wide track. I think the racing there is a lot of fun for a driver.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go right over here to Lee and then Lewis.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Jeff Gordon said earlier he's a fan of drivers' meetings, not the ones on Sundays, but the ones where the drivers just kind of get together and, feel out what the temperature of the sport is. Your daddy used to have meetings over at DEI, if I recall, and he'd bring over some of the more, the titans of the sport to just kind of air out, whatever they were thinking, what was on their mind, kind of get a feel for it before he went in and talked to the trailer or whatever. You think that we're lacking some of that today, or do you think that us as the media, we just don't see that as much since there's more of a division between the competitors and the media?
You think there's a division?
Well, I mean, you guys can do another
I thought we had a good relationship.
I did too. That hurts.
It's not like we all stay at the same.
I understand.
levels,
Yeah.
Back in your dad's stay before the motor coaches.
That's an awesome way of putting it. That's true for sure. Yeah, I think that. I mean, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. I mean, who's to say those meetings don't happen today? Yeah, I think they do, and you know, I think that those meetings are very, you know, very productive, and it's a great way to get a lot of good ideas moving across the table, and I think that a lot of the innovation that you've seen in the sport in the last probably 5 or 6 years have come from those discussions. So yeah, there's a lot of good dialogue, and I think those style of meetings are still prevalent.
Like down in Key West?
Probably not. We wouldn't go that far just to have a meeting. But
Not that kind of meeting. All right, Lewis.
Lewis, Frank Auto Week. A couple of years ago, Steve went on a diet. Now, last week we learned about your cleanse. I was wondering, have you guys inspired other people?
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend what I did to anybody, but I really kind of did it on a dare. Plus, I was all right. If I lost 10 pounds, that was going to be a bonus. But yeah, a buddy of mine just dared me to do it. He told me about it, and I was a little jealous, so I went for it. But it only lasted 15 days. It was no problem. But
So you're back to cheeseburgers?
no, well, I mean, you know, I don't. I never really was. I always, you know, I like good steak, but never was having a cheeseburger, and I can't remember how long. But once I got around 34 or 35, I kind of had to start watching the cheeseburgers and the chicken wings and the pizzas, because I swear I would probably eat 2 or 3 pizzas a week around that time. So those was the good days.
Other questions? Got time maybe for one more? Bob, let Bob finish it out here. Right here, raise your hand, Bob.
You're going to have to stick around for practice. I mean, if Nationwide gets practice, I mean, are you dreading that? And I mean, how big a deal? I mean, was there a specific reason why you ran the Nationwide race here this weekend, other than maybe sponsor wanting you to?
Yeah, it had probably a lot to do with the financial side of it. But I was looking forward to doing a little more racing. I do enjoy racing at the plate tracks, but I think to truly benefit me in any way on Sunday, I think it'd be better to run at a mile and a half, 1 or 2 more mile and a half. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to run this weekend to hopefully learn a little bit about maybe the tire or something, or the way the track changed, or what condition the track's in as far as Sunday goes. So I think we can. Even though we didn't run very well last week, I think Jimmy and Chad feel like they learned a lot about the tire and the track, and just a little bit of strategy stuff, because the tire really wasn't wearing out that much. So taking 2 tires and alternating left to right and things like that really started to show themselves Saturday. So they learned quite a bit. So I think it's going to help. We want to definitely use that race on Saturday to help us, if we can in any way. And haven't been in the Nationwide car, so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of speed we got today. Hopefully we'll get out there for a couple hours.
Dale, thanks a lot.
Thank
Good
you.
luck this weekend.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Neil.